Here we have a word problem on rectangle. Okay, let's go over the question. The width of the rectangle is 2/3 of its length. If the perimeter of the rectangle is 80 centimeter, find its area. Okay, so first let me draw a rectangle. Here I have drawn a rectangle, and according to the information, the width of the rectangle is 2/3 of its length. Okay, I assume the width of the rectangle as x. Then what is the length of the rectangle? So it's 2/3 of its width. So since we have assumed x as the width of the rectangle, then the length of the rectangle will be 2/3 of x. Okay, in a rectangle, opposite sides are equal in length. So whatever length we have for this side, the same length we'll have for this side also, because it's opposite to this side. So the length over here will be 2/3 of x, and the length of this side is x, because this is opposite to this side. Okay, now I have the lengths of all the four sides of the rectangle, and the question says the perimeter of the rectangle is 80 centimeter. That is perimeter equals to 80. Perimeter means what? So it is nothing but the sum of all the four sides. I mean, sum of the lengths of all the four sides. Okay, instead of writing perimeter, better we can add the lengths of all the four sides. So then you'll be getting x positive, 2/3 of x positive, 2/3 of x equals to 80. Okay, now in this equation I have to solve for x. So once I get the value of x, that represents the width of the rectangle, and also using the value of x I can get the length of the rectangle. So once I get the width and length, I can get the area of the rectangle, because the formula to find area for a rectangle is length times width. Okay, now our aim is to solve for x in this equation. So on the left side, each term contains x, so we can factor x out. If I factor x out, so then I'll be getting 1 in the first term, 1 in the second term, and 2/3 left in the third term, 2/3 left in the fourth term. So I'll be getting 1 positive, 2/3 positive, 2/3 equals to 80. Okay, here x, let's do further simplification. 1 positive 1 will become 2. And here for these two fractions, we have the same denominator 3. So we can take the common denominator 3, and we have to add the numerators. So 2 positive 2 will become 4 equals to 80. Okay, here I am adding an integer and a fraction. Whenever I add an integer and a fraction, I have to multiply the integer part by the denominator. Once I am done with this multiplication, I can take this 3 as a common denominator. So 2 times this denominator is 6. So then we get 6 positive 4 over 3. So here I have taken 3 as a common denominator, because I multiplied the integer part 2 by the denominator. So equals to 80. Okay, here let's continue here. X times 6 positive 4 will become 10. 10 over 3 equals to 80. Okay, my aim is to solve for x in this equation. For that, I have to get out this 10 over 3. So for that, I have to multiply both sides of this equation by the reciprocal of this number, that is 3 over 10. So I multiply both sides of this equation by 3 over 10, so that the 10 will cancel, 3 will cancel out. We have x on the left side, and 10 goes into 10, 1 times 10 goes into 80, 8 times. So 8 times 3 is 24. So I got the value of x, that is 24. Actually, x represents the width of the rectangle. The width of the rectangle is 24 centimeter. Then what is the length of the rectangle? So to get the length of the rectangle, I have to find the value of 2/3 of x, because 2/3 of x represents the length of the rectangle. So 2/3 times, so for x we know the value, it's 24. We can plug in 24 for x. So 3 goes into 3, 1 times 3 goes into 24, 8 times, 2 times 8 is 16. Okay, so the length of the rectangle is 16 centimeter. Okay, now I have the length of the rectangle 16 centimeter and width of the rectangle 24 centimeter. I can find the area of the rectangle. What is the formula for area of a rectangle? Length times width. So length is 16 and width is 24. So we have to multiply them. So when I multiply 16 and 24, I am getting 384. So 16 is in centimeters, 24 is in centimeters. When I multiply 2 centimeters, it will become centimeter square. So the area of the given rectangle is 384 square centimeter.